Welcome to today's A2 level podcast story. Today, we begin a brand new adventure about a girl named Lena, a long train trip, and a mysterious problem that appears suddenly. Let's start. Rainy morning. Lena was 14 years old, and she lived in a small town called Bridgeton. One Saturday morning, she woke up early because she was very excited. She was going to visit her aunt in Silver Lake City, a big and beautiful city 2 hours away by train. But the morning was not perfect. The sky was dark, rain was falling, and thunder echoed in the distance. Lena looked outside and sighed. "What a terrible morning! But nothing will stop me. I'm going." She packed her bag carefully. Her phone, headphones, a book, a sandwich, and her train ticket. Then she put on her raincoat and left the house. The train station. The train station was busy. People were running, workers were shouting, and loud announcements played through speakers. "Train B12 to Silver Lake City arrives in 5 minutes." Lena smiled. Perfect timing, she thought. She reached into her bag to check her ticket again, but her smile slowly disappeared. The ticket wasn't there. Lena froze. She checked again, then again. Then she emptied her entire bag onto a bench. Phone? Yes. Book? Yes. Food? Yes. Headphones? Yes. Ticket? No. Gone. Missing. Nowhere. No, this can't be happening. Her heart started beating fast. She tried to stay calm, but her hands were shaking. The mysterious woman. Just as Lena panicked, an old woman with a bright purple umbrella walked by. She looked at Lena's worried face and said, "Are you looking for something, dear?" Lena explained the problem. The old woman nodded slowly. "Train tickets do not disappear without a reason. Sometimes the world wants to show you something special." Lena blinked. What does that even mean? But before she could ask more, the old woman turned around and walked away into the rain, disappearing behind a crowd of passengers. Lena felt confused. What a strange moment. But she didn't have time to think more. Her train was arriving. Searching everywhere. She ran to the information desk. "Excuse me, I lost my ticket. Can you help me?" The worker shook his head. "I'm sorry, miss. We can't let anyone on the train without a ticket, but you can buy a new one." Lena checked her wallet. She didn't have enough money for another ticket. She looked around desperately. Under benches, near trash cans, inside her coat pockets, even on the wet ground outside the station. Nothing. Rain kept falling harder and harder. Her shoes were soaked. Her hair was dripping. She felt like crying. Then something unexpected happened. A small boy, maybe 6 years old, ran toward her holding something in his hand. He said, "Is this yours? I found it near the bakery." In his tiny hand was a train ticket. Lena gasped. "Yes, that's mine. Thank you so much." The boy smiled shyly. "My mom said always help people, so I help." Lena wanted to hug him, but the train whistle suddenly blew loudly. Woo! Her train was leaving in 10 seconds. Lena panicked again. "Thank you," she shouted as she grabbed the ticket and ran as fast as she could. Running for the train. People moved aside as she sprinted through the station. 5 seconds. The train doors were closing. 4 seconds. Her legs hurt from running. 3 seconds. She jumped onto the platform. 2 seconds. "Wait!" she screamed. 1 second. A conductor grabbed the door and pulled it open just in time. Hurry, young lady, you almost missed it. Lena stumbled inside and collapsed into the nearest seat, breathing heavily. She made it, but only because of a strange old woman, a kind little boy, and a bit of luck. She looked out the window as the train moved. Her adventure had just begun, and she had no idea what unbelievable things were waiting for her in Silver Lake City. Tom sat in the small security room, feeling nervous. The door was closed, the lights were bright, and the room felt cold. Mr. Lewis, the security guard, stood in front of him with his arms crossed. "Listen, young man," Mr. Lewis said. "We saw you take something. If you tell the truth now, it will be easier." Tom shook his head quickly. "No, I didn't steal anything. I swear. I came here to buy bread and milk. That's all." Mr. Lewis looked at him carefully. He didn't look angry now. He looked confused. Well," he said, turning to the computer, "let's check the camera footage again." Tom watched the screen nervously. He could see himself walking in the store, holding a basket, looking at cereals, then going to the bread section. Mr. Lewis fast-forwarded the video. Suddenly, he stopped. "There," he said, "that moment. Your hand went into your jacket." Tom leaned closer. "Oh, that? I was checking my phone. My pocket is inside my jacket." Mr. Lewis frowned. "We need to zoom in." He zoomed in slowly. Tom held his breath. And then, on the screen, it clearly showed Tom taking out his phone, not putting something in. Mr. Lewis scratched his head. "That's strange. It really looks like you didn't take anything." Tom sighed in relief, but his heart was still beating fast. Just then, someone knocked on the door. It was the store manager, Mrs. Carter. She was holding something in her hand, a small chocolate bar. She said, "Lewis, I think we made a mistake. One of our employees found this in the wrong place. A child probably dropped it earlier." Mr. Lewis blinked. "Oh, so Tom didn't take it?" Mrs. Carter shook her head. "No, it wasn't him." Tom sat there silently, unsure if he should feel angry or relieved. Mrs. Carter turned to him with an embarrassed smile. "I'm very sorry, Tom. We shouldn't have accused you so quickly. Thank you for being patient." Tom finally breathed normally. "It's okay, I guess," he said softly. "But it was scary." "I understand," she said gently. "Let me walk you out." Tom followed her back to the store. People were shopping normally again. The music was playing, and everything felt different now. As they walked toward the exit, an old woman approached Tom. "Young man," she said, "I saw everything. You handled it very well. Some adults would shout or get angry, but you stayed calm." Tom smiled shyly. "Thank you. I didn't know what to do." The old woman patted his shoulder. "You did the right thing." As he walked outside, the cool air felt amazing. He took a deep breath and walked toward home. But something inside him felt different. He learned two things. People can make mistakes, even adults. And sometimes you have to stand up for yourself, even when you're scared. As he walked, he looked up at the sky and whispered, "What a crazy day." But what Tom didn't know was this. Tomorrow would be even more surprising, because someone he met in the store was about to come back into his life in a very unexpected way. Tom couldn't stop thinking about the strange envelope he found under his door. It had no name, no address, and only a small metal key inside. The key was silver, old, cold, and heavier than it looked. When Tom touched it, he felt a soft vibration. "Maybe it belongs to something important," he whispered. He sat on his bed and looked at the envelope again. There was one sentence written inside. "Find Box 29. Start where the river bends." Tom didn't understand it. What box? Where exactly does the river bend? Who sent this message? For a moment, he thought it was a mistake. Maybe someone put it under the wrong door. But deep inside, Tom felt something strange, a feeling that the message was meant for him. A walk to clear his mind. Tom decided to walk outside to think better. The air was cool, and the sky was turning orange. Many people were walking, talking, laughing, drinking coffee. But Tom's thoughts were somewhere else. He walked toward the river, following the sound of the water. When he reached the riverside, he saw boats moving slowly and ducks swimming. He whispered, "Where the river bends, what does that mean?" He walked along the river path for almost 20 minutes. Then something caught his attention. A small sign. Next to a wooden bench, Tom noticed a tiny old sign on the ground. It was half broken, half covered in dirt. He cleaned it with his hand and read, "Bend Point, Old Storage Area, Arrow." Tom's heart beat faster. "This must be it," he said. He followed the arrow. The path became narrower, quieter, and darker. There were tall trees on both sides, and he couldn't hear many people anymore. After a few more minutes, Tom reached a small wooden building. It looked abandoned. The windows were dusty, the door was old, and the place felt forgotten. But next to the door, there were several metal boxes with numbers on them: 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and finally, 29. Tom swallowed hard. His hands were shaking a little. He slowly took out the silver key. What if something dangerous is inside? What if this is a mistake? What if someone is watching me? But he also felt excited. This was the most interesting thing that had happened since he moved to Riverford. Opening Box 29. Tom put the key into the lock of Box 29. Click. It fit perfectly. He turned it, and the box opened with a heavy sound. Inside was a small notebook, old and brown, a folded map, and a photo. Tom felt his heartbeat in his ears. He took the photo first. It showed a young man standing next to the river. But the strange thing was, the man in the photo looked just like Tom. Same hair, same face shape, same eyes. Tom almost dropped the picture. That can't be me. I've never been here before. He quickly opened the notebook. On the first page, there were 4 handwritten words. "Welcome to your story." Tom looked around nervously. The river was quiet. The storage area was empty. But he couldn't shake the feeling that someone, somewhere, was paying attention to every move he made. He took the notebook, the map, and the photo, and closed the box. Then he whispered, "Who did this? And why me?" He didn't know it yet, but Box 29 was the beginning of a secret that would change Tom's entire life.
Tom stood in front of the giant tree with the glowing blue symbol. His heart was beating fast. He had never seen anything like this in his life. The soft blue light moved slowly on the bark, almost like the tree was breathing. Tom took a small step closer. The forest became very quiet. No leaves moved, no birds sang, no wind blew. It was as if the whole forest was watching Tom. He whispered, "Okay, I'm not afraid. I can do this." Tom touched the glowing symbol gently with his right hand. The moment his fingers touched it, whoosh! A wave of warm light ran across the tree's trunk. The blue symbol grew brighter, brighter, and even brighter. And then the tree began to change. The bark opened slowly like a door. Inside, Tom could see a long tunnel made of roots and shining dust. The air smelled like flowers and fresh rain. It didn't feel dangerous, it felt magical. Tom stepped inside. The tunnel closed behind him. Inside the heart path. The tunnel was warm and full of tiny lights floating like fireflies. Tom walked carefully. His footsteps were quiet against the soft ground. The walls glowed with different colors: green, yellow, blue, and purple. Some of the lights followed Tom as he walked, almost as if they were curious about him. Tom whispered, "This place, it's alive." After a long walk, he reached a wide chamber. In the middle of the chamber stood a beautiful stone pedestal. On top of it was a crystal. It was the same crystal he saw on the map, the glowing stone circled in red. It was real. It was glowing softly in shades of blue and white. It looked almost like a tiny star. Tom took a slow breath. This must be the stone of trust. He reached out and gently picked it up. The moment his fingers touched it, the chamber filled with soft music, like the sound of wind chimes or whispering leaves. Tom felt energy filling his body. It didn't hurt. It felt peaceful, calm, and safe. Suddenly, a voice echoed around him gently. "You are the one who listens. You are the one who cares. The forest knows your heart." Tom jumped a little and looked around, but there was no person, no animal, no creature. The voice seemed to come from the forest itself. Tom swallowed nervously. Who are you?" The warm voice answered, "We are the whispering forest. We have watched you since you entered. We have tested your courage, your kindness, and your honesty." Tom felt chills on his arms. "Tested me? But why?" The voice spoke again. "Because you carry the map, and the map chooses only those with gentle hearts." Tom held the glowing crystal close to his chest. "What do you want me to do?" he asked. The forest's voice became softer, almost sad. "Our forest is sick. Something dark has entered our roots, something cold and careless. You have the stone of trust. Only you can walk deeper and help us." Tom froze. "Me? But I'm just a boy." The forest whispered, "Courage does not come from age. It comes from kindness, and you have both." Tom looked at the crystal again. It glowed stronger now, like it was reacting to his emotions. He took a deep breath. "Okay, I'll help. Tell me what I need to do." The forest sounded relieved. "You must follow the deep path. There you will find the source of the sickness. But be careful. The darkness will try to frighten you." Tom held the crystal tightly. "I'm ready." A small opening appeared in the chamber's wall, a narrow passage filled with a soft green glow. The forest said, "Walk with trust. You are not alone." Tom nodded and stepped into the passage. Behind him, the chamber slowly faded into darkness. In front of him, a new adventure was beginning, harder, deeper, and more mysterious than anything before. And Tom didn't know it yet, but the next steps would change everything.